Hello, fellow ink drinkers, and welcome back to the Blind Girls Book Talk podcast. My name is Aria.
And I'm Belle.
And we are two legally blind sisters who love reading and love books. And so what we've done is we've created this show in order to talk about that. We talk about a wide variety of bookish topics, and that can range from bad retellings of stories, book-to-movie adaptation comparisons, buddy reads, recent reads, bookish challenges. Really, the list does go on and on. And today is our episode that is closer to Halloween. Now, typically, I do bad retellings of Poe short stories. However, since we have moved, the book that I use, it is hidden somewhere, and I have looked everywhere for it, and I cannot seem to find it.
It's probably with my hat.
It probably is.
That's going to make no sense to people listening. I have a baseball cap that I got when I graduated college that my dad got me. I love that hat. It is missing. I don't know where it went. I'm very upset about it.
Yeah, it has disappeared.
It's probably with that book, as well as the other thing that you're missing.
Yep. So many things have gotten misplaced that
we don't know where they are.
We just don't know where they are.
They have to be in this house. We can tell you that.
Yes, we know that they're here. We just don't know where they are.
Yeah, where is a bit of it.
A question mark.
They're probably in your room. Everything's probably in your room.
Everything's probably in my room. My room is a black hole that we don't go into. So instead, Belle decided that she wanted to talk more about Poe himself. And I know we did an author talk about Poe a hot minute ago. It's been quite some time since we've done that author talk.
It's been a hot minute since we've done an author talk in general.
It has been. It has been. There are some coming up, I think, but they're not today. But instead, she wanted to talk about the end of Poe's life, because if you are aware, or maybe you don't know, at the end of Poe's life, weird things kind of happened.
He went missing.
And then he showed up randomly.
And then he died.
Yeah, and not long after he was found, he passed away. So because of that, and, in honor of spooky season, and we still want to do something related to good old Edgar Allan Poe, Belle has decided to do a little bit of research and talk about kind of what the theories are as to what happened, and just talk about that kind of stuff. So, without further ado, how do you want to kick it off, Belle?
So, I'm just going to start with some theories. So, I found two different articles. The one article just gives, different reasons or ways he could have died.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, which I think is a lot more interesting, it ties what could have been his death, what could have been the cause of his death, to different stories of his. So, the Black Cat, Mask of the Red Death.
Oh, neat.
Which I find that one a lot more interesting. These articles Aria will link them. So, for the one, I will probably read a lot from the article, because I thought it was really interesting. But some of the reasons from what I'm going to say now are in that. But I like the fact that that article ties it into more of his stories.
Mm-hmm.
So the first theory was he was beaten to death.
Yes.
Which he got mixed up with a group of people that compelled him to join them for drinks. I believe we said it in our author talk. He had some abnormality of some sort that he couldn't handle alcohol.
Yeah, he could not.
I forget exactly what it is. I think it was a genetic thing.
Yeah, he couldn't metabolize it for some...
It was something like that. I can't remember the exact thing, but he couldn't handle alcohol, yet he was an alcoholic. And he became madly drunk after a single glass and left his friends and wandered into the street. And from there, he was robbed and beaten. Yeah, there's not much more I can say. I'm not 100% with this theory. There is another one that I believe will come up in this one. If not, it will be in the next one. I think that theory is a lot more likely than just this. Because, again, the clothes he was wearing were not his clothes.
Yeah,
and he had recently gotten clean, and like he was going in a good path forward. Like,
yeah, I have a thought as to why, because there is one theory that is...
I think we're talking about the same theory, probably.
Yeah, why don't you go to that one if you can?
Okay, voter fraud.
Yes, that's the one.
This is the one we both like.
Yes.
Okay, back then it was called cooping, but nowadays it was voter fraud. So it was practiced by gangs in the 19th century, where an unsuspecting victim would be kidnapped, disguised, and forced to vote for a specific candidate multiple times under multiple disguised identities. It was extremely common in Baltimore, and it was at a voting site where a disheveled Poe was found, and it was a known place where these people brought the victims. He was delirious on election day, and all of that. It would explain the strange behavior he had in the hospital where he passed away, because at that time when you voted, you were given a glass of, like, a shot of something.
Yeah, you were given a shot of alcohol when you were done for some odd reason. I don't understand that.
I don't understand that. Celebration, you voted. If you're in America, please vote for whoever you desire, because that's coming up. You're not going to get alcohol, but vote.
They did.
They did. But anyway, he was forced to vote multiple times, and considering he couldn't, like, one glass and he was drunk.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, a shot? Like,
multiple
shots
and multiple shots, vary one after the other. You know, it would explain the clothes that weren't his. To me, this theory explains the most, especially because it was prevalent in Baltimore.
Yeah, and that's where he was.
That's where he was. That's where he was from.
Yeah, that, to me, it's the one that makes the most sense, personally. I know a lot of other people are like, well, it could be this and it could be that. But, like, honestly, think about it, too. Poe was, like, I don't think he was a very, like, big guy. Like, you know, he's a writer. So, like, it's not like he would be able to, like, put up a good fight to get away, you know? And it's not
it's also a gang, like,
yeah, like,
it's multiple people. It ain't a fair fight.
Yeah, it really isn't. So, like, to me, I have that feeling that that's what happened to
it was probably in Baltimore, you know, all that. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure we said this in the Poe Talk, Baltimore Ravens are named after Edgar Allan Poe. It is one of our father's favorite fun facts.
Yes.
I swear he talks about it every time I bring up Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes.
So I had to throw that in there for him, because I swear he said that like 2 weeks ago on a phone call, and I'm like, I know this. He's also the one who told me the fun fact of stuff being left at his grave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which we did that in the author to talk.
Yeah, we talked about that before. But I'm just bringing that up again because that is like my favorite thing about this guy. But yeah, it makes the most sense to agree to disagree with other people and their theories, but like...
Yeah, that's the one that makes the most sense.
Makes the most sense, everyone. The next one, alcohol. It ties in. I mean, he was an alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, but if he had gotten clean, well, but I mean, you can fall off the wagon and stuff even if you've gotten clean. So, like...
So, in the article I'm going back now, it's the Smithsonian, by the way, magazine that I'm pulling this from. Months before his death, he became a vocal member of the temperance movement.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Which because he struggled all of his life. It's thought of death by drinking, that he'd fallen ill in Richmond after making somewhat miraculous recovery. He was told by a attending physician another such attack would prove fatal. And then apparently Poe replied if people would not tempt him, he would not fail.
This could even tie in with the voter thing because, like we said, they're given shots and who knows how many times, like if this is what happened to him, who knows how many times he was sent in to vote. So it's very possible that it was both the voter thing and the alcohol as well. Like those two, to me, go together very easily. Like it's not necessarily just one or the other.
Oh, okay. I missed this one. Apparently, samples were taken of his hair after his death show low levels of lead.
Oh.
which is an indication that he remained faithful to his vow of sobriety up until his demise.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Well, that throws out the other theory then, too. There are a couple theories. I like the voter fraud if you're going by alcohol, but there are some other theories that I also very much like. But just some of the facts make that more prevalent. There are some other theories, such as the next one, carbon monoxide poisoning.
But he was outside, though.
It was a result of carbon monoxide poisoning from coal gas, which was used for indoor lighting during the time. And the test of his hair, they tested it for certain heavy metals that would reveal a presence of coal gas. It was inconclusive. So, theory discredited. So, we're still holding out for the voter fraud.
The voter fraud is still the most likely candidate.
Next one, heavy metal poisoning.
Which, yeah.
I mean, tests did reveal elevated levels of mercury.
That would explain so much.
But it was most likely elevated because of cholera.
Oh.
Because the cholera epidemic was going on.
Oh. Well.
Oh, he'd actually been exposed to it in 1849.
Cholera?
While in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's...
And he was prescribed mercury chloride.
That's joyful.
So it would explain his hallucinations and delirium before his death.
I mean, you take mercury.
The levels of mercury found in Poe's hair, even at their highest, are still 30 times below the level consistent with mercury poisoning. To which case, I wonder, because, another fun fact, I can't retain, salt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wonder, and that leads to other things, neither Ari or I can really take over-the-counter medicine, but it's worse for me. I hallucinate and become delirious. I wonder, on top of him not being able to handle alcohol, if there was something else that that his body couldn't regulate properly.
I mean, it's possible, but the other
that
thing
could
too,
lead to him being even a lower level for mercury poisoning could be fatal to him.
But see, my thing about it is that that's possible, but also if you think of it this way, right? He is a very well-known writer. A lot of his stories are very different. I feel like there are some people that just because of how they are, in their ability to be a writer and that kind of thing, that if you add something like mercury, even if it's a low dose, it's going to have a bigger effect on them because of how their brain is wired. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, it could be he couldn't, he had something he couldn't metabolize to, the alcohol and some other stuff.
I'm just saying it because it was, again, they're going by, it's 30 times less than what would be the average for mercury poisoning.
But also, yeah, that's the average though. It could just be that he's...
So that's why I'm saying he couldn't...
more susceptible
yeah.
to. But I mean, for me, it's kind of if you're being exposed to mercury at any level, that's no bueno.
You took mercury chloride because, cholera.
Well, yeah, I know. But at the same time, mercury, hatters, mad as a hatter.
Okay, yeah.
So for me, if you're being exposed at any level, it's already not good.
Oh, yeah. Any level is not good. Long exposure, mad as a hatter.
Yeah, and granted, too, we're talking back in history, so, that was what they had, and, there was heavy metals all over the place, and, it messed a lot of people up. And,
why Victorians were so obsessed with death.
Yeah. But, at the same time, though,
I don't blame them.
I mean, again, I don't know. It was just a different time.
It was a different time.
You had things that they just happened that way. So it's kind of for me, it's that would make sense if the mercury had something to do with it. But also, I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna hate this one. Rabies, he didn't have rabies. He was drinking water till he died, and there was no evidence of a bite. No rabies. Next one, brain tumor.
Yes.
This is a most recent theory.
I mean, again, it would make sense. Because, I mean, if you think about it, right, I'm trying to remember, like, what we said, like, leading up to it. And I think he did have, like, from joining the temperance movement and stuff, like, he had some really, like, big changes going on that seemed unusual for him. So, I mean,
I
don't know.
I feel kind of bad for the man, because, like...
we all feel bad for the poor guy.
Okay, he lost his first wife, his cousin, and all of that. But, like, he had his first love. Was not his cousin. Again, different times, everybody. And to which case, it's kind of... He got back together with her. I think she was widowed? For divorce?
I don't remember.
She was available. And they got back together. And they were going to be married. Like, he was happy. He stopped drinking. His life was going on the up and up.
Yeah.
And, you know, he literally, left to go get the brother's permission of the girl to marry her? Or something like that?
I don't remember exactly.
I forget exactly. It was something like that. And, like, it's what I want. Like, it's so sad. Okay, anyway. But they say brain tumor because potentially when they finally, years later, removed his unmarked grave to, you know, be like, yo, famous person.
Famous human.
Look at all he did for the world of literature.
Yes.
When they did that, the coffin broke, and what was left?
As you do.
Yeah, as it does.
As you do.
And he fell out. What was left of him fell.
As you do.
As you do, because gravity. And apparently, according to the people who were doing this stuff, they claimed that there was like a rattling in his skull and that there was a clump of his brain, shriveled yet intact, almost 3 decades after being in the ground.
I'm sorry, I call BS.
I do too. This one I don't like.
I call BS because it's just like... They didn't know, like, they weren't medical professionals doing this. Like, and it's not like afterwards they took him to, like...
Oh, and they're saying this would be the other thing that is, quote unquote, supporting this theory, is that brain tumor, a lesion on his brain, could cause his adverse reactions to alcohol. Yeah, so could his body not being able to handle it.
Yeah.
I feel no sympathy. Like, no.
I would feel better about that theory if, like, this happened and then they, like, called up a medical examiner or something and they were like, hey.
Yeah, this is going off of the
we're going off of people who were, like,
exhuming his body.
Yeah, who were, like, workers. They're not medical professionals. Like, they might be professionals in the sense of moving bodies around, but, like...
It ain't medical.
They're not medical professionals.
Also, like, no offense, what was left of his body after 3 decades falling out? Like, a small bone could have gotten into the skull in that fall. Like, a finger bone or something. Like, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm trying to give a reason why
it could have been something else
that rattled.
It rattled around, like,
and it could have been dirt or something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like this theory. Moving on to the next one.
Okay.
It's the flu. I'm sorry. This one's anticlimactic. Dude survived cholera.
I mean, it would also make sense, but at the same time,
It wouldn't explain his delirium.
Well, no, it would. Because, like, if he was, like, super fevered or whatever, delirium.
So, this is the quotes. His last night in town, he was very sick, and his soon-to-be wife noted that he had a weak pulse, a fever, and she didn't think he should take the journey to Philadelphia. He visited a doctor, and the doctor told him not to travel, that he was too sick. However, guess what? He did, and they say that the cold and the rain exasperated the flu he already had and maybe eventually led to pneumonia. And a high fever might account for his hallucinations and confusion.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it would make sense, but at the same time, the different clothes.
Yeah, no. This one, no. It also, girl, your fiance's sick. Why the heck are you allowing him to get on a train?
I mean,
put your foot down.
I don't know.
The last theory on this article is murder.
I mean, you can't discount it, but at the same time...
And this is where the brothers come in to his soon-to-be wife. Because it's thought that they did it because they didn't want him marrying his wealthy fiancée.
Yeah, I mean...
Sarah Shelton. That the brothers intercepted Poe in Baltimore, beat him, and forced him to drink whiskey, which they knew would send Poe into a deathly sickness. This theory's gained a lot of traction.
I mean, again, I wouldn't
Only plausible, not wholly persuasive.
I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I don't understand where he got other clothes.
No, I'm sorry. I'm still with the voter fraud.
I really
voter
am.
fraud, it makes me happy. It doesn't make me happy. It makes my brain happy.
It makes the most sense.
Yeah, thank you. It makes the most sense. It connects a lot more dots. I like that one. Who knows? Like, I think it could be a conjoined thing. It could be the voter fraud and he was sick.
Yeah.
Because, he was gone, when they found him.
Yeah.
In the hospital, he was not there.
Yeah, he's not doing well.
He was not. But anyway.
Okay. Now, what about this other one that...
So, this one ties his stories to possibly his death.
Mm-hmm.
So, Man of the Crowd, or the Man of the Crowd.
Okay.
And they're tying this one to the voter fraud. I don't know that story.
I don't either, so maybe next year that'll be one of the ones
next
to
year.
read.
The Black Cat.
We did read that one.
You did read that one.
That one's messed up, and I bet you that one's the rabies.
It is the rabies. Possibly given to him by one of the cats he kept as pets.
Nope. Moving on.
Moving on. Mask of the Red Death. So this is all based on the alcohol that he died from a binge.
I could see that, I guess. I don't know. That one seems a little bit of a stretch to me. But also, I have not read all of Poe's works, so I couldn't say for sure.
What? You didn't read Mask of the Red Death?
No, I'm saying that I don't know if there's another story out there that would tie to alcohol better than the Mask of the Red Death.
In my head, Mask fits. Telltale Heart. Want to guess this one?
Well, it has to do with, the hallucinations and stuff.
That he was sick.
Okay, it was the sick.
He was weak and spasms. Could have been the cholera and the flu and the all the things.
All the illnesses.
Apparently a nurse saw a scar of a wound on his left shoulder. I asked him if he'd been hurt in the region near his heart. He told me yes.
Okay.
Apparently, that is what a nurse said. I don't trust that. Dude was delirious. He could have thought he was the dude from Telltale Heart at that point.
Yeah, who knows?
There was no concept of reality. Yeah.
Who knows?
That's it.
Oh, I was thinking that the Telltale Heart could have been the heavy metal thing because of how all of that.
Yeah, that one would have been good. Maybe that will be an episode for next year, taking something like this and doing more of his stories and matching up what could have been the cause to his death and tying it to stories. I'm surprised they haven't tied the Raven.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking too, because for me, in my head, I separate out all the heavy metal poisoning and the sickness. So I feel to me, the heavy metal poisoning is more of the...
No, the regular would fit for Telltale Heart.
Yeah,
because the guy went insane.
The sickness one
fits
Telltale Heart. The heavy metal fits the Raven. Yeah, that's what I was just sitting here just being wait, which way do I want to go with this?
I was at first I was with you and then I was wait a minute. The whole thing with Telltale Heart is the guy goes insane.
Yeah, so that would fit with the
That was the first thing of Poe I read. I love that story. That should have been a clue that I have issues.
I like Hop Frog.
You do like Hop Frog.
I like Hop Frog.
I like
Did we
Telltale
talk about Hop Frog yet? I can't remember.
I think you did. I think that was in one of the first ones.
I can't remember. I have to look back because I'm going to have to find my stories for next year.
Yeah, we gotta see that. Figure out that.
Or maybe for Christmas time, if we find the book between now and then, we'll just do
Poe for Christmas.
Poe for Christmas. I don't know, because I do like the idea of doing like ghost stories around Christmas for some odd reason. I think it's just like from when we did Christmas Carol and the goblins who stole a sexton for Christmas
when we
or
did
whatever.
Dickens.
Yeah, when we did those.
Cricked on the Hearth.
Oh,
You hate that one.
Really, really, honestly, truly, for realsies do. I am not a fan.
You're a butt.
I'm so sorry.
It's such a good one.
Yeah, but no, I like doing that. I mean, also, like, I just love the spooky season in general. So, like, anytime I can make it make sense to do something that's a little bit spooky, we're gonna do it.
I think if we do that, if we do something spooky, it has to be Christmas spooky, though. That's the issue. We aren't doing Halloween spooky.
So, I think that's about all that we have for this episode, though. Yeah, sorry that it is not the normal Poe bad retellings, but like I said, if we find it, I mean, we might even do it in November if I find it.
Yeah, who cares about Thanksgiving?
Who cares about things? No one cares. Poor Thanksgiving. No one cares about it between Halloween and Thanksgiving.
And Halloween and Christmas?
Halloween and Christmas.
I don't know. I mean, for us, we don't.
I mean, we haven't
really celebrated it in a long time. Literally last year, we ordered Outback.
That was so fun, though.
And had that delivered. And I made a cake. I think we're going to do that again this year because
I'm here for that because that was
as long as you
fun.
don't drop the cake this year.
That wasn't even. It was my birthday cake that I dropped.
It was.
It was not.
I was so sad about that. I didn't even get to eat any of it.
I was so sad about that. But anyway, so that being said, of course, if you like this episode, if you like what you've been listening to, please consider following the podcast and sharing the episode with your friends. It really would help us to grow the show, and we would appreciate the support those actions would give. And hey, if you just want to leave a review, that would be okay too. And then, do I have a plan for next time? Have I fixed our lives yet?
It's probably going to change.
It's probably going to change. Great. So to be determined. Who knows? I don't know anymore. I don't even try.
We fixed our lives.
I have not.
There is something on the calendar. I don't think you want to do it.
Okay, sounds great. So
doing great, everybody.
We're not gonna announce what we're doing next time.
Surprise.
It's gonna be a surprise for all involved. So that being said, we'll see you guys next time then. Bye.